Hey, hello. So it's Tuesday, and what day is it? The 27th of October. My gosh, as if that really matters. Anyway, um, just on the road today, driving back from a beautiful weekend with my daughter's family, and yeah, I was just thinking, because often, without knowing it, we're caught in in the drama. We can be caught in the drama of all of the. I guess we can call them emotions, states of being, like guilt and shame and fear, anger, and mostly we have said to ourselves and to others, just let that go. Just let that go. You know, even grief, even though sometimes we're hesitant to suggest that people are let grief go, but even grief just can be a very low vibration and it's really not accepting life on life's terms. But in our society, we've made grief very acceptable, and I guess we have it. It comes. It's not to say not to have it, but the same with anger. We have it. It's part of our psyche, and I guess the same with all of those. Not to make them wrong, just to suggest, though, for the moment, that instead of letting them go, we just don't pick them up. What if? What if we just didn't pick them up? So when grief came, we didn't analyze it. We just left it there. When anger comes, if we can separate from it just for a second, we don't, because often we think that we are the anger, or we are the grief, or we are the guilt, or we are the shame, or the fear is us. But when these things come and we can see that they're not us, we can discern that they're not us, then maybe we can just let them go. We can not. Maybe we can just then not pick them up. Letting them go is a doing something. Not picking them up is even less than doing something. It's actually it's a not doing something. So just kind of play with that for a while. What would it be like to not pick it up? Just to leave it, not engage. Yeah. So that's really the whole message today, is that to recognize if I'm if I'm in struggle in my life, it's about one of those things, or denial of one of those things. Often we have those states and we deny them, or we don't want anybody to even know that we have that. We hide it. So just recognize them, and for as a possibility, just don't pick it up. Just don't pick it up. Way less effort than letting it go. Way less effort, and recognize that sometimes if we do pick it up, it's because we're attached to it. We actually like it. We like the anger. We enjoy being, self-pitying. It's kind of our persona, it's our story. Don't you know who I am? I'm the guy that lost this or lost that, and so we've made a story around it. What if we could let go of the story, or not pick up the story again as well? No stories of winning or losing. Just let them go. Just don't pick them up. Wow. This has just kind of come to me. I was listening to Muji in the car as I was traveling, and he said it. Why not just not pick it up? And for me to share it and play with it a bit is good for me as well. Whoever I am, And who are we? We are this accumulation of all of those stories. Often they're stories of guilt and shame and loss, and we have emotion and around them. So just don't pick those stories up. Be here now without the story, unless the story serves a function in helping somebody bust their story, because whoever they think they are is not necessarily true. It's not true. It's never true. All of those situations are personal. They're not, they pass. They don't stick around. So they're not true. They're just stories, and they pass. Okay, I'm going to read today. This is what day is it again? The 27th of October, and I've been reading from this book for quite some time. It's called the 24-Hour Day Book, and on the 27th, it's talking about. This book is a book based on the 12-step world, the 12-step recovery program, and it was written in 1954. I really enjoy reading it to you guys every day, and there's always some great little tidbits in here for a day-to-day recovery. He says, I can help other alcoholics. I am of some use in the world. I can help other alcoholics. I am of some use in the world. I have a purpose in life. I am worth something at last. My life has a direction and a meaning. All that feeling of futility is gone. I can do something worthwhile. God has given me a new lease on life so that I can help my fellow alcoholic. He has let me live through all the hazards of my alcoholic life to bring me at last to a place of real usefulness in the world. He has let me live for this. This is my opportunity and my destiny. I am worth something. The question is, will I give as much of my life as I can to the 12-step world? See, the 12 steps are a structure, for those of you that don't know, and it's a beautiful structure that brings people to awakening, period, full stop. It's an awakening vehicle. And the first thing that we have to do is admit that we need to awaken, and that's step one. So when we admit that we need to be awakened, and that our life is not working when we're using and drinking and using, and so we admit that we're powerless over whatever it is the substance is, and then we accept that we can't manage our life either, because we're often caught deep in these things we just talked about, with fear and anger and guilt and shame and grief. Yes, and all of those things, we're caught in them, and we can't bust out of them. It's very difficult and impossible, actually, without a concept of a higher power somewhere that in time we realize that we are one with, but we've been separated, and so here we are on the planet, living out this life, trying to run it on our own, by our own means, and it doesn't work. So that's what happens with the 12 steps, is that it's a real solid structure to an awakened state, to more than just usefulness that he talks about here, but really an awakened state. I mean, the promises in the step 9 promises and the step 3 promises and the step 5 promises, I mean, they're amazing. So you have a look at it if you've never if you haven't. It's saved my life, and that structure that the 12 steps actually has as part of it the opportunity for us to give back, and because we need that in life we need to be able to, where can we give back, and we grow in our own spiritual awareness and consciousness by helping others to grow in theirs. So it's a beautiful, it works. Meditation for the day. Each of us has his own battle to win, it says. The battles between the material view of life and the spiritual view. The battle between the material view of life and the spiritual view. That's exactly what we were just talking about. Something must guide our lives. Will it be wealth, pride, selfishness, greed? Or will it be faith, honesty, purity, unselfishness, love, and service? Each man and woman has his or her choice. We can choose good or evil. We cannot choose both. Are we going to keep striving until we win the battle? If we win the victory, we can believe that even God in his heaven will rejoice. Often many teachings talk about a concept of God, and what happens in the 12-step world is that we can create and have our own concept of God. And for me, I like God as love, because I don't see God as a tangible in the sense of objective separate from. I see God as consciousness, as one, that we are part of it, we're swimming in it. God is either everything or he's nothing. And so we're not, yes, of course he can be objectified, or he can be conceptual, but that's limited. And if he's the Alpha and the Omega, then he's everything. And a little hard to get the brain around it, so the brain kind of needs concepts, and we'll use those until we move past those and we become aware or self-realized that we're like, wow, this is all one. This is all one. Here we go. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may choose the good and resist the evil. So, I look at that as love or fear. I pray that I will not be a loser in the battle of righteousness. So some days his writing is, I look at it and I think it's it's beautiful. There's always something there for everybody. Okay, you guys. I got lots of miles to make today. Love you. And I'm sure we'll talk soon. I was supposed to read today from the Bhagavad Gita, but it just doesn't seem to work on travel days. So tomorrow afternoon, I have a guest who's going to read with me too. We're going to shoot for 12 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, bye.